Well, it's a quick turnaround again for you. Game coming up Tuesday night. I just want to finish off from the weekend. Something that you said, just so the fans can understand what I think you really meant when they said you wanted to keep it internally in the dressing room. What was said when I posed the question to you about what had gone on for the 70 minutes after the final whistle. Can you just explain a bit more to the fans about what you did really mean?
Yeah, I didn't want to sort of say individual names and what I'd said. Really, I was trying to protect the players. If that's what the query or the misunderstanding was over. You know, I'm not. I try very, very hard to protect the players and make sure that I don't stand in front of yourself or a camera and make it personal to individuals. So what was said was what needed to be said, you know, like it is after every game. And hopefully the players take on board that. You know, especially when you're conceding goals and losing games, it's easy for me to stand there and say, right, this player were at fault for goal 1 and these 3 players were at fault for goal 2. I'm not sure that's the right thing to do. So when we have them chats after every game, they stay internal. It's as simple as that. And I will be as honest and as open as I can, but at the same time protecting the players, and that's what I meant on Saturday. So yeah, I hope if that needs clarification, then I hope it has. You know, that provides it.
Well, you've got a fixture coming up very quickly after Saturday. Sometimes we speak to you and your players that sometimes they don't want to be playing, they want a week out on the training ground. But we spoke to your captain and he said it's a game that we definitely wanted. Yeah,
I think we all. You know, sometimes when the games come thick and fast, like you say, you sort of say, ooh, we could have done with some more days prep or recovery or coaching. For us, at the minute, we've got to get points on the board, and we've got a great opportunity tomorrow. 2 of the next 3 games are cup games, which we've done actually well in this year, and we've got to make sure that we become harder to beat, and we have that belief that we're actually good enough. Because there's not much in the game for 60, 70 minutes, and then suddenly you lose 4-1. It wasn't probably a 4-1 game, but then it didn't surprise me it ended that way. And that can't happen. That's just easy. That's just succumbing to your own head, if you like. And the opposite is believe it or not, is just as easy to achieve. You know, how many teams go 10, 12? We went 10 unbeaten last year. You know, over January and Christmas and what have you. So it's not insurmountable, but there's got to be a shift in your brain first, and that's important.
The one thing that you've always brought into your teams is good technical players, and you want to play on the front foot and be exciting for the fans to watch. But in this current situation, is it really now? Is the message we've got to get back to basics? We've got to be what we are.
Have you been listening?
No.
Yeah, I think that's always a core principle of ours. You know, again, there was last 15 minutes of the game, it didn't look like us. You know, whether that's because some subs had come on the pitch or it'd become a bit disjointed or they'd lost a lack of belief in what they were trying to do. Whatever the reason is, that wasn't us. And you have to stick to your principles. You know, it's easy to stick to them when you're winning games of football because they're providing success. Well, you've got to do the same when you're losing. That doesn't mean to say you accept losing. That's a completely different thing. But we're best when we play football, and we've got to try and play football at all times.
A win makes a massive difference, doesn't it, in football? Even at the highest level, Manchester United manager under all sorts of pressure.
Yeah.
He wins, and it's a different ball game. I think David Artell is hoping the same.
Yeah, of course. You know, they talk about belief or confidence or whatever you want to call it. The best way of doing that is winning games of football. You know, you look at Plymouth, you know, the top of the league, I think. That's what I've been told. Are they the best team we've played? No, they're not, but they've just got that belief that they're going to win games of football. You know, I spoke to someone earlier in the week who said they're not the best team they've seen, and I'm sure Loggie'd said the same, but they are at the minute because they're top of the pile, and it's mainly to do with application and belief and that, you know, that drive to succeed, and that's what we've got to get, and winning games of football helps in that.
Whatever that team selection comes out around about 6:45 tomorrow night, there's no doubt about it, you're giving everybody a fair chance, haven't you? It's 15 game coming up, you know, against Doncaster, so everybody's had that fair chance, and they've got to start establishing themselves, some of the players, because it's the futures. There's a lot of players here this time who are on 1-year contracts. Yeah,
I think every game you have to play for your future. That's the sort of bigger picture, but you've got to see it. You've got to see it as players, and if you don't, then you know it sort of smacks you in the face at the end of the season, and yeah, that's a long way away. You know, we're a third away through the season. We've had a poor first third. We've got to have a better second third, because there won't be a third. If we have a middle third that's poor, it's as simple as that. So we've got to make sure that, you know, we perform and achieve much more in this next 15 games.
They've got to be able to handle it. The captain's already said it's a must-win game he's come out with. That's his mentality. He hopes we get that over to the group of players. But how big a game is it for, you know, the two sides bottom of the league?
They're all big games at the minute. They're all big games. You know, if you're 12th in League One, but you go, oh yeah, you try and get in the playoffs. You know, you can say the big games, but there's not as much riding on it as there is tomorrow night. Does that make it a must-win game? Well, if you want to call it that, you can do. They're all must-win in my book, because that's the name of the game.
And of course, they haven't got a record at all away from home, and you've got to be on that front foot, and you've got to make that happen, because their confidence is shot at as well, surely. No points at all, and just a couple of goals scored away.
Yeah. So it's going to be a test of, when I say mental fortitude, that suggests that your back's against the wall and you've got to be resilient. It's going to be actually who believes more, I think. You know, and we've got good players capable of playing in League One week in, week out. At the minute, you know, they're not showing that, and they've got to show that. So we've got to continue to give them that, try and give them that belief and that resilience, so that they do believe that they can perform.